Hi, I'm Andrea,
I'm Alexa.
and welcome to As You Are.
In today's episode, we wanted to talk about surrendering in times of uncertainty. And this is a topic that really was brought to the surface because of all of the uncertainty that's going on in my home country right now.
Mhm.
But both Andrea and I have had uncertainties related to that, like growing up, a lot of instability in both
Mhm.
Venezuela and Haiti. But we also feel like right now in the world in general, there's a lot of uncertainty. And even on a personal level, career wise, relationship wise, personal growth wise, it could be just any moment of uncertainty. And that's really what we want to touch on today.
Yeah, there's so many aspects in life that can come with uncertainty.
Yes.
So, we wanted to talk about why uncertainty feels so heavy and what we've done to navigate through them and what has helped us ease and help us along the way just to deal with those feelings.
Yes. So, why uncertainty feels so heavy? It's like as humans, our brains are wired for patterns and predictability. And whenever we don't have that, it makes us feel very anxious, and our nervous system is not happy with that in general. And I've heard this from other people before that if you think about how we were in the past, like in small villages and communities, we were only exposed to the problems or uncertainties that were immediate to us in the present moment. And now that we have access to so much information and information that comes from all over the world, it's like that in itself is like our nervous system was not built to intake all of that information at once. And in the past, we would have probably digested that at a much smaller scale.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
now we're constantly exposed to all of the, issues and turmoil that's going on in the world.
Yeah, that might not necessarily like affect us directly, but it starts to add to the list and
Hmm.
unconsciously it's on the back of your mind and it gets heavy and heavy and heavy and it's like a lot to
Yes.
process that we don't even necessarily realize on
Yes.
either.
Yeah. And it just, like you're saying, adds to the stress level that our nervous
Mhm.
system is handling at
Yeah.
one time. And when you add uncertainty in the mix, when not only are you seeing things going, let's say, just not the best that it could in the world, then you add the uncertainties of your own life. It just is very heavy on the nervous system. And so I really do think that it's probably more challenging for us to deal with uncertainties when we're always so exposed to stress
Yeah.
just in general around the world.
Yeah, it's just it becomes too much at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah. And I personally, like around COVID time, I was really very concerned about the direction the world was
Yeah,
going
yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So today we'll talk about the practices that help me get past that and live less in fear and be more at peace.
Yeah, and also uncertainty can make us feel super anxious and overwhelmed. It can affect us mentally so much more than we realize.
Mm-hmm.
And it prevents us from taking action and it kind of freezes our thought process and we
Mm-hmm.
can't think straight. We're just like too overwhelmed. And some things that at least had happened to me is I was at one point in my life where I would say like 3 years ago, I was like in a life crisis to see
Mm-hmm.
like what I wanted to do with my life, what direction do I wanted to take with my career. And I had this option being an interior designer or I was at a point in my life where I could like completely switch gears and be like, no, I'm actually not going to be a designer. I'm going to be a business owner or I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
start my own thing or I'm actually going to do medicine. Like I was like in so many different things,
Mm-hmm.
completely different. Like I could start studying something I like, but I wasn't sure of anything. But at the same time, it felt that it was like the very heavy choice.
Right. Yes.
Because it's like I felt that I had to have everything figured out then.
Mm-hmm.
And what if I chose to be a designer and then I didn't know what was going to happen next? So,
Mm-hmm.
what happened to me is that since I had to make in my mind that choice at that moment, I couldn't do it. Like, it's
Yeah,
like
you
I
just
stopped me,
froze.
I
Yeah.
just froze and it stopped me from even making any type of choice. And I think it was like a few months I was like struggling on what to do, and it became extremely overwhelming. And I was just stressed every day because I wasn't like doing anything proactive about it, but it was still in my mind. So it couldn't
Right.
let me
You
take
had like no
action on
sense
it.
of direction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's something that can affect you so much more and just like freeze you. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've also been experiencing that recently. Just to give you a little bit more context, I'm at a point in my life right now where I feel I have multiple choices and options.
mhm.
When I left the company that we worked at a year ago, I went on this whole wellness journey that
Mhm.
has filled my cup in so many ways last year. But this year, I'm really analyzing for myself in which direction am I going? And I have so many doors that I can choose. And within like the past like I would say, yeah,
Yeah,
two
few
months,
months.
I've had days where I literally have to stop. And it's not that I have to stop, I just really don't know what to do. So then,
Yeah.
like you're saying, I freeze and I take no action because of the uncertainty. And just sometimes for me, especially when I don't feel safe, like when my basic needs are under stress, I would say.
Okay.
When my basic needs are under stress, it's very hard for me then to be creative and
Oh,
to
I
be
see, I see, I
the
see.
best,
Yeah, yeah.
like to act to my best potential
Mhm.
because those basic needs are challenged.
Yeah.
When you're in those times of uncertainty and you don't know where you're going, you don't know what's coming in, what's coming out, how and when. And so for me,
Affected you.
it really affects me. Yeah. Whenever I let myself get overwhelmed by uncertainty
Yeah.
and I let myself go in the rabbit hole of like fear and what if this and what if that, but I don't know and I don't know. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like in every phase of our lives we deal and we face different type of uncertainties. And when you were younger, maybe work or a job or a career wasn't like so important, but we had other priorities, and
mm-hmm.
with that came different uncertainties. And it's something that we have to deal regularly. So we just want to talk about like what we have done to navigate through those easier.
Yeah. And like on top of the emotional or mental aspects that uncertainty can affect us, it also affects us physically as well. Because as we've mentioned multiple times on the podcast, we really believe that emotions affect our body.
Mhm.
And it has definitely happened to me before where because I feel very fearful, my body starts aching or I start
Mhm.
feeling very uncomfortable. I have pain in certain
Oh,
places that I
yes.
normally don't feel pain.
Yeah, and we store, like we have talked about this before, we store emotions, and not only sadness or being anxious, but also stress. And
Mhm.
with uncertainty comes like you become so stressed and overwhelmed about the situation that you start to store that, and it can affect you physically as well.
Yeah, it's like, can you imagine the negative impact that really you're causing your body when you allow uncertainty to you're literally like attacking your body, you
Yeah.
let it attack your body, physical and spiritual body.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And for us, we really think that awareness is key. And we've talked about this even like in regards to emotions,
Yeah.
pinpointing emotions. That's
Mhm.
like the most important part of turning something positive out of it. So it's the same thing with uncertainty, pinpointing those moments where you feel fearful or you feel anxious or you feel whatever emotion that you're feeling or like physical
Mhm.
sensations, pinpointing those moments and then transforming that into something that is more positive.
Yeah. Yeah, and with that, it'll help you understand what to do with those feelings. So, we have some grounding practices that we have done. So, wanted to talk about that, and something that has helped me a lot when I start to become like super overwhelmed and like when I cannot think straight and I feel literally I don't know what to do next is I take a step back, I pinpoint my emotion, try to understand it, and for example, most likely I'm overwhelmed and I'm stressed, and what I do is I breathe in,
Mm-hmm.
hold, breathe out, and I do that 2, 3 times. And I kid you not, sometimes I have like a headache, but you know those type of headaches which is like stress. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
oh dehydration or like
Mm-hmm.
headache itself or vision. It's stress,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like the points, the stress points. I try to touch those, and it's not helping. And
Mm-hmm.
just by breathing in and out a few times,
Mm-hmm.
it literally releases so much of that energy that it's like
Yes.
overpowering, and it's
Yes.
just like it goes out. And it's something as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just letting your body know that you are able to take yourself back from that fight or flight mode
Mm-hmm.
with some meditation and breathing and just connecting more and be more in tune with your mind and what it's thinking, and not letting
Yes.
be like super overpowering and be and take control over you, trying
Yes.
to take that control back.
I think that the breath is also so powerful just for bringing you back to the present moment
Mm-hmm.
and realizing, because I've heard before that, I don't know if it's fear, or I think that fear is basically you stressing out about the anticipation of something happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily that it's like you're right in the middle of it,
Mm-hmm.
that something is happening to you at the very moment. It's just the
The anticipation.
anticipation most of the time
Yes.
that something is going to happen. So for me, the breath really helps me as well. Like just
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
releasing. And sometimes I visualize
Yeah.
physically like letting go of things. And also, things that can help you release is water. So for
Mm-hmm.
example, taking a shower, or even going like in the ocean, or
Mm-hmm. Or even
um
like walk. Like
yes.
for example, where I work, it's like I can walk around a block or I can walk even within the same building. So
Mhm.
one day I remember I was like super, super frustrated, overwhelmed. I was like, I don't even know where to start with everything that I have to do.
Mhm.
And I started to have the headache, and I'm like, okay, wait, like I need to do something about it because I still have like 6 more hours to go. So let me do something.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do like breath work like here in the office. So
Right
let me just like walk
here.
out.
Uh-huh.
I walked out and I like locked myself in like one of those like meeting rooms, and I like did some like I think it was like 2 or 3 rounds of breath work,
Mhm.
and it was like breathing. And I was like, if
Mhm.
someone sees me from the window, they're gonna think I'm crazy, but it's like so I was like breathing in and out, and it was so helpful. Literally, it took me less than 5 minutes. I walked out
Yeah.
that conference room, I walked into the office, and I was like, I sat down, I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's just something as simple as that.
Yeah, and you mentioned walking. I think that there's something very powerful in physically moving your body in
Yeah.
order to let something go. And sometimes I'll
Yeah.
shake my hands, or I'll like start moving my legs, or
Yeah.
it's like it really
Releases.
allows the emotion to release and not stay stuck in your body. So I think
Yeah.
that the breath is the same thing.
Yeah.
Basically breathing in and letting all of
Yeah.
that emotion out, walking, taking a shower,
Yeah. Taking a
moving.
shower, it's good. Yeah.
Like literally sometimes you just do this and it really helps
Yeah.
get
You know what
stress
I do?
out.
Instead
What?
of that,
Uh-huh.
whenever like I have like a stomach ache or also like headache, I'm like I with my hands, let's say with my belly, I like
Uh-huh.
it's like I'm grabbing everything
Uh-huh.
like that, and then I'm like taking it out like
Removing it. That's so
I do that so
powerful.
much, and I'm like, when people see me, it's like, what the hell? And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I just remove it. It's like, but
Removing all the toxic
I don't
stuff.
know. It's like when you know when you're doing something like this
And
and
you
you feel
feel the
it's like
energy.
the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
when you're
yeah.
doing that. I feel it, so it's just like take that shit out.
But that's is that intuitively that you did that, or
No, no, no. Someone told me. Like someone
okay,
is like, "Oh, let me help you," and they were doing that. I'm like, "Why are you doing it?" And they're just taking it out. I'm like,
you
"Whoa!"
can do that?
I'm like, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, because
I
in
do that.
the remember the meditation program that I always mention on Mind
Yes.
Valley with Jeffrey Allen, one of his teachings, like one of the lessons, was literally doing that and taking out,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
taking out bad energy or
bad
things
energy.
that no longer serve you.
Okay.
I think there's something very powerful about the act of moving, even if you're not
the
taking
action,
anything out, but it's just the act of letting go, I
Yes.
think, and surrendering and just giving it away.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, another thing that has helped me really release and let go of fear is surrendering to a higher power. And during COVID, because I mentioned earlier about during COVID, I was feeling very stressed about the world and about the direction that we were going in, to the point where I was feeling, I don't know if I was having anxiety attacks or what it was, but I had gone to the ER because I was feeling a very sharp pain here, and it like really stayed with me for hours. And I don't even know how to explain it because the doctors didn't
give you an answer.
They basically gave me painkillers.
Okay.
But what I ended up doing afterwards, like when I went back home, I was like, I obviously didn't take the painkillers because my mindset is like, no, I need to figure out what this is. And then I was doing research, and I think intuitively I felt like it was anxiety.
Yeah.
And so I literally did breath work and out, like a lot of it. And it released, like the whole pain that I was feeling was gone. So I really, after doing the breath work, I was like, okay, I really think that it was, I don't want to say in my mind, but it was caused by my emotions, and I was able to release it through breath work.
Yeah.
And another thing that helped me, so going back to surrendering to a higher power, is this book that I have here is called Many Lives, Many Masters. And it's I read this book in 2020 in a day. And then I reread it this last weekend, also in a day. Yeah.
How big is the font?
It's like regular size.
Girl.
Yeah. I read it in a day just to tell you how much I was soaking up the information.
Wow.
And I felt like I really, really, really needed it at the time. And I was surprised that when I reread it last weekend, I also read it in a day. And not that I never, but I'm rarely that impacted by it, and rarely that into reader, or rarely that impacted by a book.
Okay.
But just to give you a little bit more context of what the book is, I'll just read what it says at the front because I think it's a good summary. The true story of a prominent psychiatrist. His name is Brian Weiss. He actually lives in Miami.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because he says it in the book.
Oh, okay.
And in the book he mentions Haiti at some point. Yeah.
Wow.
And so I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of thing that ties in for me in this book. And there's a lot of Haitian women that have a similar belief system than I do. And they're the ones that recommended to me this book. And different women have talked about this.
Okay.
But okay, so the true story of a prominent psychiatrist, his young patient, and the past life therapy that changed both their lives. So essentially, it's a therapist that had a patient, not therapist, psychiatrist, that had a patient, and he was very by the book, very medicine, not very spiritual as a person. But then the patient started having past life regressions. And so the book is about the past lives and going through all of these past lives.
Wow.
So it's really, I love this book. And honestly, even if you don't believe in reincarnation and past lives and all of these things, I feel like it really eliminated all of the fears that I had about the world. It really brought me a lot of peace.
Interesting.
And I'll just read you the first sentence. I know that there is a reason for everything. Perhaps at the moment that the event occurs, we have neither the insight nor the foresight to comprehend the reason. But with time and patience, it will come to light. This is the first sentence of the book. So you understand why that really helped me in times of uncertainty. It's like a big portion of the message is here. And then at some part of the book, because at the time in COVID, for some reason, I was really concerned about the planet, about nature and about all that stuff. And in the book, at some point, it says that nature will be fine and that the earth will be fine, that humanity will eventually disappear at some point, but that the earth will be fine. And that brought me so much peace. And from the moment I read the book, I never felt that pain again.
Wow.
So for me, the book really taught me how to surrender to the world.
Mm.
And eventually, I think really last year, I really deepened my practice spiritually and I guess belief more in a higher power and God and the universe and all of that. So that has been very big for me. So yeah, a point that yeah has helped me a lot.
Interesting. I want to read it now.
Yeah.
Another thing that has helped me a lot with specific topics is limiting the all the that new information, or like limiting, yeah, let's call it overstimulation. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
because now, as you were saying, we're not wired to know everything that's happening in the world and take on all of those feelings
Mm-hmm.
attached to those things, and limiting that information to just what serves you and what's important in the moment. I think it'll save you so much more stress in the long run,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll take off so much, even without realizing, because I feel sometimes it just becomes like it starts to add on your mind, and without realizing. And once you start limiting those things coming in and actually being more conscious about what you're reading or what you have on your social media
Yes,
or
that's
what
so
you're
true.
listening or
Mm-hmm.
what you pay attention to, it'll help you so much to actually just pay attention to what it's important in the moment.
Yes, I like what you said too about pick what serves you. During that time when I was saying that I was concerned with the world during COVID, in that moment, for some reason, I told myself, I need to follow the news because that's what people do. People
Yeah,
listen to
true,
the news. And
true.
so I felt some sort of responsibility to be
Yes.
listening to all these things and to be so aware of all these different things that was happening in the world. If not, then I wasn't doing a good job as a human
Yeah.
to be like concerned for the world, essentially. And part of that cleanse that I was going through, I had to stop listening to the news because that was really a big source
Yeah.
of my anxiety.
Yeah, same, same. And some people don't understand that, because I know that, like, when I talk about that, like, I'm not into something specifically, because I just, besides, I don't really care that much about something that you should be aware of, like, let's say global news that you should know about, but I
Uh-huh.
just don't want to know, because it's not my thing. It's something I don't
Yeah.
want to know. It's something that's not gonna add anything to my life. It's just gonna add more negativity or negative energy. I just
Mhm.
rather not know.
Mhm.
And sometimes I live off, there's a saying, ignorance is bliss. It's like,
Uh-huh.
sometimes it's like I rather just not know something that is not important to me, because it's not gonna bring anything positive, you know?
Yes, yes. I think too that another thing that helped me and with the whole world situation when I was concerned is realizing that not everyone has to take care of everything in the world.
Yes.
And I started making peace when I realized that
You don't have that responsibility
yes, you don't have the responsibility of every
to
single thing
fix
that to
everything.
fix every single thing that happens in the world. For example, if you think about the human body, your liver is not concerned about being a heart.
Right.
Your liver is just being a liver,
Yeah.
and your heart is being your heart.
Yeah.
And each has their own flow and their own energy and their way of contributing to the overall health of your body.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with the earth. Each person has their own way of contributing to the
Mm,
world. And it
true.
doesn't necessarily have to mean that they need to be an activist. If that's their purpose and their mission in this world, then that's amazing. And they'll be an activist and they'll really fight for certain specific things that they believe in. But other people are really meant to be more of a passive
Yeah.
like light in the world to bring positivity. Like
Creative.
you need comedians in the world. You need
Yeah,
people that
exactly.
are not as serious, I guess, but not
Yes.
to say that either or is better than the other. It's just that each person has the role that they're playing on earth in this world. And that brought me a lot of peace because I'm like, okay, I don't need to do all of
Yes,
it.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
I can just be the best version of myself, and that in itself will be enough.
Yeah.
That in itself will bring about the peace in the world. And even if it's the smallest way,
Yeah,
even
it could be even like at work that sometimes you feel like you don't need to do like the entire thing. It's like, no, there's other people working in the office. It's like you can
Yeah,
delegate
you have
or
to
other
believe in the system.
distribute. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like don't try to take control over everything.
Yeah,
It's just
don't carry the weight of the world on your shoulders.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that could be anything. Don't carry the weight of work on your shoulders. Don't
yes.
carry the weight of an entire family on your shoulders. And I think that in letting go of that weight, finding a way to be grounded in the present moment is so important. And for me in particular, I really right now am enjoying my morning routine and my daily practices that just keep me grounded and in the present.
Mhm.
I mentioned this before, but drinking my lemon water, my yogurt and
Mhm.
fruits, and my yoga practice in the morning that really keeps me grounded and to
Like
try and stay present in what I have, what is in front of me now.
yeah, it's like slowing down your life. It's like enjoying the present moment, enjoy what you're doing, enjoy what you're drinking, and
Hmm.
bring that rhythm or pace down
Yes.
to the present.
Yes. And also, if you think about it, if you stay in a constant state of worry and fear about an uncertainty, then you rob yourself of those little beautiful moments that you can find in your life. I think that a lot of people tend to think that because a situation is bad, then the world is ending and everything in this planet is bad and everything is horrible because
Mhm.
there's so many horrible things. But it's like, no, there are bad situations and moments of uncertainty, but in every single moment, you can find beauty.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's like in moments of war, there's a lot of, for example, plays that, if, for example, if it was in a society that was super oppressed by kings that had all the wealth and the rest of the population was very poor,
Mm.
there are a lot of skits and plays that came out of that, basically
Okay.
making fun of the situation
Okay.
and like bringing some light into darkness.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's important to not be too hard on ourselves in that way because I feel like a lot of times humans feel like they need to carry the weight because but no, it's bad. So we can't be happy right now because it's
Mhm.
bad. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I get it. It's hard. Life, the world is hard. But I do think that we need to, absolutely need to find a way to see the beautiful little moments, the bird flying,
Mhm.
your morning coffee,
Yeah.
these little things, because that's what keeps humanity sane and it's what
Yeah.
keeps humanity alive. If we didn't have those little pieces of beauty throughout our day, then we would be lost.
Yeah, I agree. It can become like overpowering also. It's like if you let that take control over you and take power over you, that's all it's going to keep doing it. It's like it's
Yeah, and
going to keep taking power.
that's what you're gonna keep seeing.
Yes.
If
Yes, true.
then you won't even pay attention to the bird flying.
Yeah, exactly.
And the bird is flying for you. You should be
Yeah.
thankful for the bird. Like, oh
Yeah.
wow, beautiful. Hi
Beautiful bird.
bird, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just noticing these if you just
Yeah.
allow yourself to be overwhelmed by it, then your eyes are automatically blocked to all of the rest of the beauty that's in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very black or white. We talk about this a lot too.
Yeah.
Don't be black and white.
Yeah.
I think that that's a very black and white way of seeing the world. If you think that the whole world is negative, it's like, no, there's beauty and there's struggle and beauty. There's
Yeah.
beauty within the struggle.
Yeah. It's like letting go on some level. It's like don't let it control you and let it go. And also that brings me to the next point that is not needing to have the full answer right now in the moment.
Yes.
It's trust in the process
Mm-hmm.
and you don't need to have the answer because that's something that I struggled a lot is I won't do something if I don't know what's gonna happen. So
Mm-hmm.
like I need to know the outcome to see which option to take,
Uh-huh.
basically. And it doesn't work like that.
No, it's
It
like you need to live it, be in it, progress through it, and the
yeah.
answers will be revealed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like you need to take action and then it's the answer is gonna come along the way.
Yes.
It's not to choose what to do based on the final result. It doesn't work like that. And it actually was like hard for me in the beginning to understand that. I wasn't like looking at it that way. And it freezes you and it doesn't let you progress in life because it freezes you and you don't know what to do. And once I understood that you don't need to have everything ready or
Have everything figured out.
To make a choice, it frees you and it lets so much more stress go.
Yes. Just trusting that things will figure themselves out. Like
Yeah.
it's okay. The world will keep moving and things will keep moving.
Yes.
So really what we're trying to say is that we feel that it's necessary to make the effort to try and find peace in the unknown and to try and surrender to uncertainty.
Yeah, you can let uncertainty cause physical and emotional stress, or you can build up to it. And something that has helped me so much too is whenever I look back and I think back about all the things that I have to go through, that in the moment it felt like the world was crumbling and I was falling apart and why does this happen to me, blah, blah, blah. And we go through those a lot. As we grow up, we face different challenges and different things come into our way. And we feel in the moment it's so hard for us to deal with those things. What has helped me is when I look back, I have been able to face everything that has come along my way. Is I was able to solve the problem or face it with grace and deal with that. And just trust yourself and your body that you're able to handle whatever comes your way, and really think back to all of the things that you had gone through and look at you now and be like, I was able to face those. Maybe it wasn't like the best way possible, but you're good now. So it's just trust yourself and understand that you can deal with things that come your way and trust in yourself.
Yes, I love that. That's very powerful. Because we have a lot more power than we
that we realize. Sometimes we don't trust ourselves that we'll be able to deal with, I don't know, with all the responsibilities that we have to. And actually, if you really think back, like everyone is doing their best and everyone is facing problems, but still you can figure them out along the way.
It works out.
It works
will
out
always
in
end
the
up
end.
working out. Yeah. And to that, I would add to question to yourself, what is your belief system? And whether it comes from something that is religious, something that is spiritual, or even something that is atheist, you still have a belief system and a set of thoughts that allows you to keep going in this world. And think about what that is for yourself and try to anchor yourself with those words. For example, for Andrea and I, knowing that everything happens for a reason is a big thing that gets us through. And knowing that we are exactly where we're meant to be is a big thing that helps us get by. So think for yourself, what is your belief system? What keeps you grounded? What makes you feel like you can keep on moving forward? And let that be your focus. We've mentioned this before, that energy goes where your attention goes. So if your attention is on fear, and all of your energy will be consumed there. But if your attention goes to something more uplifting and that keeps you wanting to live, like, the focus on that.
Yeah. And trusting.
Trust the process.
Yeah, trusting. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, you just have to trust. Trust that things are unfolding as they should.
Yeah, and yourself, that you'll be able to handle what comes your way.
Yes. So to conclude, we encourage you to choose peace and to choose to surrender, because ultimately everything will be just fine.
Yeah.
If you like this episode, let us know in the comments if anything resonated with you.
Yeah, and the only way this podcast grows is if you like our content and subscribe.
So please do. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, all the platforms at As You Are Pod.
And see you next Wednesday.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.